Good evening, welcome back. We're gonna have ourselves the second game of the evening. Second game of three games in total that we're gonna see. So we're gonna see Empire taking on Ahead in this game. That means that we're seeing Empire for the second and last time tonight, while we're seeing Ahead for the first time of two times tonight. Empire on the Dire side. It is Ahead on the Radiant side, therefore, of course. And with me is G-Advance once again. Welcome back.
Yeah, I mean, that first game, it just kind of shows how Empire think and play these games. But that said, I feel like definitely more could have been done. If they'd have just gone for the aggressive tri lane, at the very least, that for me would be a strategy that made more sense. Because then instead of shutting down a Nyx Assassin, you're shutting down a whole tri lane of people. Yeah. Especially the Gyrocopter, who free farmed and got a free tower as well.
Well, we're gonna see if Ahead has a bit more of a solid plan. I think the main thing for Empire from previous game was that their lineup didn't require a lot of farm to make work. If you hit an arrow, you already got a good start. Nightmare arrow, even better. You only have level 1 Nightmare to have the best setup. Nyx Assassin got some levels, but even if he didn't, he would have still been quite okay. And like, that's actually all they needed, levels, not necessarily items. Well, you would want to have a Blink Dagger for a Centaur, you would have, for all the other games, you would want to have, like, all these kinds of items. Well, Empire just built a lineup that required getting levels, and they were getting levels for sure. So I'm curious to see if they're going to do the same thing again. Remaining. However, already Empire picked up a hero that was banned out in the previous game against them, so they pick up the Batrider, who doesn't only need levels, but kind of also needs his Blink Dagger, though we know that Mag normally has good ways of finding that farm anyway, regardless of how difficult his lane might be. They're up against a Centaur again, though. We'll see how this one will fare, if it's going to be a bit of a better Centaur than the previous one.
Yeah, the previous Centaur the Blink Dagger ended up coming too late. They got like one initiation from it, and from that point on, they were just out-farmed. And yeah, like you said, Empire, they pick lineups that can survive without anything, that can still do things without anything, so they can fight from very early on, but then they use that to get themselves farm. And generally the heroes they play, like Mirana for instance, if you combo up well, if you hit the arrows, that's fine. If you combo up well, you hit the arrows and you have a Drums and a Manta, that's great, because you're going to be hitting harder as well, you're going to be throwing out illusions, you'll be harder to kill. And Empire, I mean, this is a lineup that needs a little bit more farm, but Batrider at the very least, he can go into the jungle, of course, from pretty much any lane he's in, and against a lot of mid lane matchups as well, he can do very well. And the only problem he has is his base damage, but I don't think we're going to be seeing him on the mid lane this game, because Team Empire, they pick up the Invoker.
Yeah, and Invoker is actually a pretty decent hero against a Centaur. If he's in a Stampede, you can Tornado him and delay his advances of running at you. Cold Snap works very well against him as well, and actually interrupts the Stomp if you actually get Cold Snap a bit of levels and you hit him fast enough. So I think it's a really good hero to have, and we know that Resolution plays a killer Invoker, so don't really have many worries there. I mean, the bans were pretty okay as well. We had Lycan and Ember banned out, no surprise there, with an Ancient Apparition and a Dazzle removed, so that is 2 of the main picked supports removed. So I'm kind of curious what Empire has in mind for us in terms of supports. Perhaps they want to go for a Bane again, Nyx Assassin perhaps as a support this game. Really depends also on what kind of core they end up with, of course. For Ahead, they actually have a Visage, which we see often in combination with other heroes. They hereby already said that they are going to have 2 supports. Like for Empire, they have a chance to go for something like a Enigma, which Always Wanna Fly has actually played quite a bit of lately. Or for a Chen Enchantress kind of hero. While Ahead kind of need to have a secondary support there together with a Visage to set up for some stuns and slows, and just to do the extra damage that Visage needs at the start to get the Soul Assumption stacks going, really.
Yeah, that's definitely true. One thing they can go for is, the nice thing about Visage is that he's good with most hero combos if they have any sort of kill lineup. And there are a fair amount of supports that you can pretty much guarantee on picking up. Things like Vengeful Spirit, they're not going to get banned. That's a fair thing. The thing I'm most confused for Ahead right now is what carry hero they're going to go for. Because Morphling's banned out. That's a hero we've been seeing occasionally recently. I don't think he'd be particularly great for this lineup, but he would have been okay. And I was going to say the 2 big heroes that I wanted Ahead to actually go for as a carry were either Lifestealer, so they had somebody to throw in with the Centaur, or the Luna, so that was a good combo with the Visage, because she is a very good hero with the Visage, improves their base damage early on, and That can help a lot with building up the Solar Subject charge, but they decide themselves to ban it, and instead they pick up a Rubik, so I'm a little bit confused over Ahead's lineup right now. They pick up the Rubik when there's not much to steal. Batrider's spells aren't particularly great. Some of Invoker's spells can be, but generally you need somebody else who can keep them in the fight. Maybe the Centaur's going to try and do that. I feel like your Ahead are a little bit weak right now in their lineup, unless they pick something unusual.
Yeah, it's quite surprising because they had first pick after the banning phase, of course. We've seen a lot of Rubiks. I say a lot. We've seen Rubiks before that are fast enough on the fingers to lift Batrider when he just blinked in before he grabs someone. So that could be something that he could be aiming for, just to counter the initiation from Empire, which would be very decent. In the lane, he can of course pick someone up, drop him down next to the feet of the Centaur, and make Centaur able to get the stomp in, as they actually get a Slark, so that is some extra aggression there as well. And again, telekinesis into a pounce is pretty solid as well, especially if you're going to have mobile heroes such as an Invoker to try and grab. I like the pickup for Ahead, but Empire, I mean, they know what they want to do apparently. Pick up the Doom, the Shadow Shaman. They are a bit greedy, I find, because all of these heroes have kind of a ramp-up time, but perhaps they can... they're being allowed to be greedy, because the only thing that they have to worry about is the roaming combination of the Visage and the Rubik, and the roaming itself is not that strong, more so on the lane it is strong, and Batrider should be able to be safe on the lane anyway if he gets boots first. So I think they're going to be allowed to be a bit greedy here, unless maybe aggressive trialing from Ahead comes out, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I think Empire, right now, they do have, quite a greedy lineup. Ahead, I mean, Visage and Rubik are both heroes that can cope with very little items. Generally, both of them want a bit more. Shadow Shaman, not a hero that can cope with few items, and he's not very good with Brown Boots, for instance, because he eats up his mana pool in seconds. I feel like Team Empire, though, they're more ready for this, because at the very least, two of their heroes are very good at farming. Doom and Batrider. Batrider, of course, I said it before, he can stack up some camps, he can go into the jungle, he'll farm up a Blink Dagger pretty much any time he wants to, in around 10 minutes. If he decides to go for it, he'll easily do that. And the Doom, he's always going to have that constant farm going towards him. Yeah, and it's a smart pick versus the Slark as well. I do like what Ahead go for here. They go for the risky pick by picking up TA. But this is unusual from Empire. They pick up Leshrac. It is a good combo with Shadow Shaman, though.
And on top of that, I mean, it's like they were anticipating that Templar Assassin, because Edict, of course, amazing against getting rid of the refraction. Shadow Shaman shackle into a stun from Leshrac is going to be very strong as well. And on top of that, you've got Edict for towers, you've got the Serpent Wards for towers, and it's starting to get a bit scary for Empire. I mean, yeah, they have a ramp-up time, and that might be giving enough time for Ahead to also get their items ready, but... if it's enough time, I worry. They have a very solid lineup. On the other side, I mean, they don't really have a lot of early game. I mean, Leshrac and Shadow Shaman is nice, but you're not going to typically roam very hard with that to try and create space. We'll see if that's going to be the case also for Empire. But, yeah, time will tell, I guess. Let's take a look at who's playing what, as we have got Empire on the Dire side this time. This time, I will introduce Empire so you can struggle on who is who for Ahead. We have Always Wanna Fly play Leshrac. So far on the top lane, he's gonna be playing a support, or at least I'm expecting him to play support, as he actually has got a ward from someone else and he's still sitting on 200 gold. So I'm thinking perhaps he's gonna be treated as a core. Silent is building towards Jungle Doom by the looks of things. He's gonna be on the Doom. Of course, we were expecting to have him on the safe lane, but things can change around fairly fast. Resolution Invoker, solid mid-hero, mid-player. We've seen this before, and it's expected that he goes mid-mag on the offlane. On the Batrider, does pick up boots first, so he's going to try to stay alive there long enough. And last but not least, it is Vanscore playing the Shadow Shaman. I'm going to expect him to rotate top after checking the rune, which actually he successfully finds. Let's see who gets it first. It is actually Vanscore and denied. So, yeah, that's going to be Vanscore rotating top and no rune at minute 0. And I will leave Ahead to you.
Alright, apparently most people on the side of Ahead, they're using their names that they're just using at this point. On the safe lane for the team, it is going to be Seema the Slayer here. He's on the Slark. The supports for him, it is going to be Jean on the Visage. And Eknart is going to be on the Rubik. The offlaner for the team is going to be 168 here. He's on the Centaur, and this is the one... One second, I need to get this name up.
Yeah, this is okay. If while you get the name up, we see him getting harassed a lot. There we go. He's fine though, for the moment. Whose name do you have to pick up? 168?
It's a Loha Dance. He's in the middle lane. Alright. That's on the TA there.
Ah. Oh, yeah. Okay, ready for action. Aloha Dance. Well, that's...
Which is a fantastic name, by the way.
Yeah, and he is also fantastically harassed here. He does have a refraction up again, but... well, and actually, he will be forced to use it soon. He's got a bottle as well, so that will be nice for him. Is this a tough lane for him? I mean, this is his second refraction. And, I mean, he will need to use his full bottle. Have to send his courier back straight away, bottle crowing. In the meantime, on the top lane, this is a tough lane for the Centaur as well, as we could already see. Always Wanna Fly is taking on a support role here. And Silent is farming, so nothing quirky? Nothing weird going on here. I'll just call it that. And
yeah, Centaur will struggle versus these heroes, but
yes.
The nice thing for him is that Leshrac and Shadow Shaman, neither of them are great as far as damage that they can output just from right clicks. So he's going to be okay for that, but he hasn't got the level 1 return, so they're going to take damage from that. At the moment, though, the nice thing that he's been doing is he's just sapping XP from their pull camps. He's not even gone to the lane that much. He's letting them pull. There's nothing he can do about it. He doesn't have the wards on him or anything. He's just on boots first, and he's just staying out of their range, staying within the pull camp's experience range. And yeah, I mean, on the bottom lane, though, Mag is probably upsetting the support slightly more than the
Centaur that is the
Centaur.
one to die top. The haste rune of Vanscore coming in with the shackle. The stun from Leshrac at first did not hit, or at least the stomp hit from the Centaur to hit on Leshrac to make sure that Leshrac didn't stun straight away, but it still hit in the end, and that's a solid first blood. And yeah, Mag with the flame trail. And a lot of supports coming for him as well. He was boxed in, but he knew exactly what was happening because of that ward. He was able to get out. So first blood goes to Empire on the top lane, killing off the offlane hero of Ahead Gaming.
Yeah, and that is the problem that this offlane Centaur can have. There's a lot of different ways that I've heard people like to build him here, but either way, he does, struggle level 1 in the offlane, because either he's going to have return, at which point he doesn't have anything that he actually does, and he's just a blob in the lane, or he goes for, the more usual build, which is Stomp, which means he can turn around, maybe, if people go on him, but it's not like he does very much damage, and he doesn't have any way of, he doesn't have a natural escape or anything like that, so he does struggle there. I was gonna say, in this middle lane, I'm surprised by how TA was struggling so much. He's obviously not read Wagamama's guide, because Wagga said that this is the lane matchup that you want, and you should go Psyblades level 1. He went Refraction. It does save you, though. I've got to say, it does save you from taking as much harass, and he is man-fighting Resolution a fair amount, and Resolution just using Cold Snap anytime he can.
Yeah, and he can pull it off. He's almost got his phase boots ready. Actually, Resolution has phase boots if he wants them. Aloha Dance, I mean, he's got boots. His bottle is being crowed constantly, but he's got 16-4-11 with Resolution on 12-4, so he's still ahead for the moment, despite being harassed so much. In the meantime, it is actually the Batrider that is sitting at level 3. Compare that to the Centaur level 3 as well, with of course Centaur dying once. It is Mag then that we can consider to be ahead. If we compare the cores, we've got a Silent Doom. That's actually a punny there, if you think about it. But Silent Doom is 27-5, and he is out farming Seema, who is sitting on 23-8. So overall, across the board, Empire slowly but steadily, despite, I mean, they've got 1 kill, of course, but even next to the kills, they're already getting ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, the scary thing, of course, is that Doom is, I would say, considered a counter versus Slark. Obviously, when you say Doom counters everybody, the thing is that who's actually a valid Doom target, and Slark is probably one of the best Doom targets. Slark actually takes a lot of damage there going on to Mag, and they tried for the gank on it. They were trying to wrap around and go for a gank on him, but the Slark just takes so much damage, and yeah, this offlane Batrider is just causing more damage to the side of Ahead than the Centaur can do to Empire, and looks like they're trying to go on to TA here, but he's sniffed this one out. Apparently, yeah, there is a ward for them up in the jungle, so this spots as the supports rotate, and yeah, they're not going to get this kill on the TA. She's going to come back to the lane fairly soon, and yeah, I mean, maybe the Lesh will come here, but this is it's hard to hit this stun if they do go for him.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm quite surprised about the level difference between the Leshrac and the Shadow Shaman. I mean, they're on the same team, but Leshrac is already level 4. He's been really prioritized on the farm as TA actually activates an Invis room, but the second ward is already down. Tornado picks him up as well, and he is going to be a dead guy. There we go. Rotation coming in from Always Wanna Fly.
Yeah, and I like the positioning there from Always Wanna Fly. He came in completely from behind and used Edict so that even though the Split Earth didn't hit, which I thought would be much more important, he's still able to get the kill there because the Edict, like you said, it's so good versus Templar Assassin. She's not a very tanky hero outside of having Refraction, and that cuts through Refraction charges easily, and the creeps aren't going to do anything if you're forced to run back to your tower in that position. So nice gank from him.
Yeah, a lot is riding for a head on the Slark, I think. Also a mid-game hero. Next to the Templar Assassin, of course, having a bit of the same kind of role in this game. Maybe they're just banking on one of the two has to be successful, as it probably will not be a Loa Dance as he's he's gonna be able to dodge a stun. He's gonna go on Resolution actually, might be able to get him as well. One more hit, his Refraction is already off. One more hit would have gotten the kill, but he's not gonna be able to get it. Phase Boots versus Treads.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I mean. This time, Aloha Dance, he has the creep wave in his favor, and not only does that mean that they're going to take more damage by trying to attack him, but it also means this Diabolic Edict does not do as much. Even though 3 points are in it, it's going to be spread between all the creeps and Templar Assassin, and it only just really got her Refraction off there, and it sends Invoker back to base. That's a little bit of a problem, but at the very least, Always Wanna Fly is going to sit here, get himself some extra levels. I think this is sensible. They're focusing on getting the Leshrac extra levels because he can struggle with that. Even though I would generally say the Shadow Shaman wants it more, at the very least this game, he's more of a setup hero for the Leshrac.
Yeah, he is. But I mean, Always Wanna Fly's been trying by himself to get the stuns going. Seems like he does really need that setup though, and they're gonna try again. I mean, they just really want to shut down this Templar Assassin. The stun being set up by the Tornado, not properly though, at least the stun doesn't hit. The Centaur ult comes out, but the lasso was already there, and Aloha Dance will take a nosedive into the dirt, as it is Leshrac that gets the killing blow. Can I say blow? Because it probably was the Edict. It's not really a blow, right?
I mean, Edict is like little explosions, so they like blow up.
I guess
I think you can get away with killing blow. That's fine.
Cool. But it does mean that Centaur is also level 6, by the way. He only just got it. He's sitting on 1k gold, and despite dying once, I have to say I'm quite surprised he's actually doing as well as he seemingly is. He's only a couple of 100 gold ahead, or sorry, away from the Bat Rider, behind from Mag. Well, Mag definitely had an easier time on the bottom lane and was there for the kill. So overall, Centaur is doing an okay-ish job. If it's enough, only time will tell. It is going to be Seema, who is still sitting on 1k gold, has got Treads. Curious to see what kind of build he's going for. Do you think he's going to go for a Shadowblade this game?
He might, but just because the Doom is on the field, he might even have to think about a Linked Sphere. It's not an item you see that often on the Slark. It does fit his skill set quite well, though. It just makes him that much harder to kill, and it keeps his mana up as well, which is a problem that Slark can have. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. There's a lot of different options for open for him, but even the Lincoln Sphere doesn't protect him that well against the Doom, just because, I mean, Doom, he has level death, you know, and if he's in range, he can probably just level death and then immediately use Doom, and that will hit him then. But yeah, speaking of the Doom, he is farming up an absolute ton right now. He's got a Hand of Midas, he's got Max Devour, and he is way ahead on the net worth. He's also up on the top of the last hits. He is going to be a very, very scary force to deal with in the mid game. Not a traditionally good carry as far as how much damage he outputs, but that doesn't seem to matter too much.
Mid lane, Lift coming out, nicer. Splitter coming out from the Leshrac though, hits upon 3. Shadow Shaman still gets blown up by a Visage Soul Assumption. Seema, what are you doing there? Walking in that Edict, despite you not being seen, still hurts. Split Earth coming out again, this time hitting up on 2, and it will be not enough to kill off Seema. Stick Charges will keep him up. Now the lasso comes out, but Mag, does he really want to do this? He will live, but he won't get a kill with it. Even though the bird almost died, in comes Seema again, gets the Invoker from the high ground to the low ground. The Edict is enough to take down Aloha Dance though. It turns into a one-on-one. The 2 solo mids have dropped. Split Earth this time did not hit. It is a back and forth here in the mid lane. But it turns into a one-on-one, right? Am I... Oh, I missed the Shadow Shaman. 2-on-1, so 1 kill extra actually for Head Gaming.
Yeah, and nice engagement for ahead there. They do lose their TA again though, and this might be a problem for them because there is a fair amount that's countering the TA this game. They're going to be dropping the Doom pretty much every time on the Slark, who is actually going for that Shadow Blade. I guess, you know, his mentality is snowball and try and do the damage anyway, just because Linken's won't protect me that much. But yeah, I'm not sure on that one, but yeah, this TA, she's going to struggle. There's a lot that cuts through her this game. Invoker has a fair amount of spells. She's going to suffer for mana against him as well. Batrider, as well as the Shadow Shaman with his wards, because they're all separate instances of damage, of course, and the Leshrac. There's a lot that cuts through this TA's refraction in this game, and she's struggling. But up on the top
level
lane,
4 support combo coming in on the Shadow Shaman. The Doom comes out in the center, though. They should be able to take at least down the Shadow Shaman, but it is going to be Rubik that is almost dead as well. Silent now turns around, goes on Jean, but can't get that kill either, and in the end, he only gets a centaur. No, he's not even going to get the centaur. He doesn't get a single kill. That is his first Doom used. And he might be filthy rich, but he is not going to get any kills there and loses his support, giving some levels to the supports of ahead who definitely need that experience. Everybody is so low on the side of ahead. If you look at the top lane, top health bars,
middle lane
it's so
though,
scary.
TA is going to go down again here. Not much she can do.
The refraction is up, but doesn't matter. There is the shackle, the fire, there's everything. She's dead again, indeed.
Radiant's top tower is under
Yeah, I mean, there's not much that the Templar Assassin can do in this game. The Doom, yeah, he does have to use Doom there, but he used it more of a defensive spell anyway, I think. Otherwise, they probably would have lost him as well. He's fairly tanky, the supports can't kill him on his own, and that is a 3v2 situation, and Empire get the counter kill on arguably a more important hero this game. Yeah. They lose their Shadow Shaman in the middle lane, or on the top lane, sorry, but if he then comes and rotates mid and they get the kill, and it's not so much of a big deal because TA, she's much more item reliant than a Shadow Shaman does. Obviously, as a support, Shadow Shaman is very item reliant, but Templar Assassin is a core hero, and she is struggling a lot this game. 0-4-1.
Yeah, and Templar Assassin is gonna need some help soon to get this game into their hands again, and it's gonna be Seema who's gonna try and do that. He is about 300 gold away from actually getting his Shadow Blade, so that is gonna be his item. Even though I believe they've already been buying sentries. Oh, Resolution is gonna try to find him. He's gonna find him. In comes some help. Nice Shadow Dance, but he's still gonna get tornadoed, EMP'd, and he's visible and pounces and teleports out. Is there another stun? The Edict is actually not catching him, and the stun was on cooldown, so he manages to get out. Nice escape for him as the Centaur ult comes out. They want to try and take down Mag, but he's got a haste rune. Good luck chasing him down. Split Earth coming out, only hits on the TA. Teleport out from what was one of Fly, and Mag actually picks up the TA, drags him back. Shackled as well. Leshrac teleported to the tier 1 rather than teleporting home, and they take one kill. It looks like they haven't had enough just yet. They want to try and take down more. It is going to be Centaur that they want to have by the looks of it. Flame Ray coming out as well. Rubik is gonna get picked off. Tornado, couple of hits needed. Shadow Shaman places his wards. The tower will go down as well, as Visage can turn around for one soul assumption, but that is all he can do. And with this, with those sticky napalm charges, that turnaround just took so long. And the only one that lives is Slark, the one that wasn't there anymore. And all they wanted to, like, they came in with the Centaur ult. It was a bit of an awkward engagement because they just saw Resolution there. You know that teleports can be coming in from the tier 1, but yeah, it is a bit of a bad decision. Well, very bad decision.
And Empire's map movement is just great. And the big thing for me as well is that Centaur, he didn't have enough mana for Hoof Stomp. After they got gone on there, he had like 40 mana and wanted to try and come into the fight, but he couldn't commit anything for them. And the fact is the initiation from Empire is just doing a lot more. I loved how they're focusing in the fights as well. They're specifically saying the only one we're afraid of this game, if she got farm and if she snowballed a bit, is the Templar Assassin. It was a surprise pickup.
Oh.
It was a smart pickup, but Empire, they just focus her every single time. The Batrider ult goes on her, the Shadow Shaman goes on her, and I mean, they have great heroes for just cutting through the refraction as well. And again, they just go for her in the middle lane here.
Why not? Why not indeed? Maybe now he will actually live though, and it looks like he is. Mag still getting picked up, dropped down, and actually will be going down to the Templar Assassin. Finally some revenge for Loa Dance, as he manages to land a trap on Vanscore, but they're not going to go in. It's too risky at this point. At this point, it's all about that Slark. Can he get some pickoffs? Probably wants to get level 11 before he's going to try.
He needs to get a lot of pickoffs though. He's just got level 11 now, but he needs to creates so much on the map as far as getting kills and creating farm for himself, because Doom is almost twice his net worth right now. This Doom is going to be absolutely enormous. Yes, Doom isn't a huge hero as far as his scaling's concerned, but he can get items to make up for that to an extent. And I mean, if he has double the items that the Slark can have, he's already got a Shadow Blade, a Drum, a Plate Mail as well. So he's either going to work for a Shiva's Guard or maybe even just an Assault Cuirass. Either will be good for him this game. I feel like the Shiva's Guard, though, might be a slightly better option just because they have the Invoker and it's a slightly better combo. Either way, ahead, they're struggling this game.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like Empire wants to give them any more time to do anything at all. They are with, at least they removed Doom from the lane, and he could have been still farming, but he's actually now with his team on the other side of the map. They've got a good Roshan killing team. It looks like they are moving to doing that. They've already cleared out one of the last 2 observer wards of Ahead Gaming. They've only got 1 left, which is a very defensive one. I mean, we see this ward a lot of the times, obviously, but this is a 16-minute high ground Radiant side defensive ward. 16 minutes in and already afraid of getting surprised near their own base. It is very tricky for Ahead. They can't afford to lose any more fights, and now with an Aegis on the Invoker, it's not gonna get any easier. And it looks like, ooh, Shadowblade just in time. Seema happy that there's no gem yet on Mag, who is going for those sticky napalm charges. The Stampede used defensively. He still is able to, oh, actually, Eel's gonna go down. Soul Surge coming out as well, but in comes the Splitter Earth up onto Doom as well. It is Seema and Centaur already dead. Down goes the other 2, and it's only Visage that is left alive. When he tries to take down Vanskor, Vanskor will go down to the tower, but it is a team wipe, and that is just horrifying. Team wipe, 5 for 2. 17 minutes in the game, and I mean, that's just, how are they going to come back from this? How? Tell me. You're the captain of Ahead, go.
They need to pick off somebody before Empire are ready for it. The thing that Empire are doing is their map movement is brilliant. They'll rotate very, very quickly, farm up just a little bit, and then they'll just go straight at the side of Ahead at this point. They need to go and pick off somebody after this engagement, because Empire are backing off now, so now is their opportunity. They do have the Centaur with a Blink Dagger, so they basically just have to find somebody. I mean, they're split up now. The option is maybe to go for Resolution and Silent, but they do see them. They're going to go for them now, caught out under the ward.
But Resolution
nobody's
has got that
nobody's
Aegis,
backup.
though.
Where's the backup?
Well, backup comes in now. They get a pounce up. That's at least an Aegis gone. Silent, though, is he actually gonna... Oh, he's gonna come back in. He has his own Shadow Blade. He's getting slowed down still. They see him. They go for Resolution again. Get the pounce again. Standing next to a Sentry Ward, though, and that's gonna be giving the kill to a Visage. It's gonna be the center that teleports out. Always wanna fly. They're still chasing. This should be their time to back off because Empire is coming in to defend their team. They still lose their Leshrac, but in comes Mag with the lasso, grabs the Visage. Is the damage there? Silence starting to pound on that Visage. One more hit needed, but Visage running, flying for his life, not flying fast enough though, and it's Rubik that can't even fly, so he'll go down as well. EMP, Resolution, back in this, bot back, gonna try to make it worth it by killing off this Templar Assassin, and it looks like he's gonna get his wish as well, because there is no place to hide for that Templar Assassin, and they should have stopped after killing off that Doom. After killing off Resolution,
got themselves a nice initiation there, because Empire, they backed off, they separated out, and 2 of them backed off straight into this ward. So this ward did help them, but then they kept on trying to go, and as soon as Invoker buys back, you just have to get out of there at that point. You've done the economic damage to Empire, you've killed the Invoker, you've got themselves yourselves some gold, but at that point, Ahead, they kept on going because they were confident. Invoker brought back, TP'd onto their tier 1 tower, which is still up. And at that point, they've been in the fights too long. They're too far behind on gold. And they just start getting crushed.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been there anymore. It's just that simple. And especially not when you hear the buyback sound, right? I mean, that was just a big mistake. Ahead Gaming is making quite a few mistakes. I mean, we have to give them some slack because they are facing Empire, which is admittedly one of the stronger teams right now in the scene in general, so it's not an easy game for them by any stretch. But they are making some mistakes that I think could have been prevented as they're trying to maybe find something up high ground. We do have, I think, Tornado stolen. Actually, Flame Break stolen by...
No, it's just Flame Break.
It's
not a great spell to steal. It's okay, but...
Not without
it's underwhelming
napalm.
Without the... it's underwhelming without Sticky Napalm. Otherwise, it's basically just an AoE nuke. It's a nice AoE nuke, yeah, sure, but it's not even maxed out.
Whoa, Mag jumping in. Wasn't sure what he was going to do. Seema is actually going to... misses Pounce. I thought maybe he was probably gonna try to pounce over the high ground, but couldn't do it over the cliff. Mag got a force staff in, gets lifted, and gets killed. That was his mistake. Luckily for Ahead Gaming, they're not the only one making mistakes here, because Mag just thought, well guys, you have a tough game, so I'm just gonna force staff in and let you kill me without my team being anywhere close near me.
I hear you're starving, let me feed you.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he just plays a little bit cocky there, and this might be another opportunity. Only
jumping
3 here.
in. Stomp on 2. Can they do the damage here? There is an AC now on Silent, so he's a lot more tanky than what he was before. And of course, gives some armor to the rest of the team as well, as the EMP burns away all the mana, apart from Seamus. He's gonna pounce up on Resolution. He is. Split Earth is gonna hit. It is indeed hitting. The Edict coming through as well as the Nova. Vanscore still in some trouble, but at least his wards has already cleared out the Templar Assassin, and it might be that he lives as well. There is only Seema left alive of the team of Ahead Gaming. And Mag going to try and solve world hunger. Well, that didn't really help his team out in the end at all, because they just got baited into going in 4 on 5, and they lost 4 of their own. As Seema actually gets hexed before he can almost... Oh, he did finish off Vanscore. Nice for him. Gets pounced to the high ground and gets cold snapped and killed. Not worth it.
No, I mean, the big thing here is that even when in Ahead get a great initiation, they stomped on, I think they actually only got 2 with the stomp, but Resolution backed off, counter initiates with the EMP Tornado. It's one of the best counter initiation spells, and
they get silent. Well, it's a start, and Mag, the Rubik that he dragged, didn't really get to do that much. Buyback from Seema to try and force back Empire out from the base of Ahead. Can they find some people? Can they pounce? They pounce with the force staff coming out from Resolution, perfectly timed. They turn around, go, a 3-man Split Earth coming up from Always Wanna Fly. That's gonna be devastating. Again, a lot of people getting out on low health as they do manage to kill Leshrac finally. Resolution still getting chased down. He's super fast though, sitting in all his wax and running like the wind with his force staff up again in a second. There he goes. He can force staff over the high ground, and he'll do so. He'll get away alive. It is just Rubik and Centaur that died, and actually they might try to turn this around. The tornado comes out. They get the Templar Assassin. Cold Snap there as well, but was this a mistake? It could have been a mistake. We have Seema gets to kill the Invoker, and Vanscore gets pounced upon. Split Earth from the low ground. Edict as well. Always Wanna Fly doing what he can, but he'll still see his teammate die, and that was a giveaway. Again, Always Wanna Fly.
And it's gonna be
He's
more.
gonna be slow enough to dodge Pounce at least. Gets a stun out. Edict. Nova. Can he get that? Yes, he can. He actually gets the sludge.
Wow.
And now Mag comes in as well. Wants to try and take down that Templar Assassin. Again, gets the kill. Always Wanna Fly. MVP there. Has got his Bloodstone ready with 8 charges. And this game, I mean, I think like, okay, Empire made such a big mistake right now that Ahead has a chance to come back. But then no, Ahead throws harder than Empire did, and it's confusing.
Yeah, both teams are just getting so greedy, and the big thing for me is that Empire just have ridiculous items. I mean, this is 23 minutes in. This is a support Leshrac with a full Bloodstone at this point. I mean, he's only on 8 charges, which is, you know, considering they're ahead, you'd expect more, but the item is cursed, so you always end up with less charges than you should have.
Give him a break.
He had it in the last fight, died, and then came into this fight, and
they still got some
he does
kills.
manage to get more from it. He still, yeah, I mean, he still gets some kills, but it's like that item, you always get killed whenever you get that item, like immediately, which is what happened. But he manages to regain those charges, and Empire, even when they have less people, they're so hard to kill at this point. I mean, Ahead, they just don't have the damage items. Templar Assassin, she got a drum, and she's going for a BKB, so she doesn't even do that much damage. With the AC aura up on Doom, they just can't kill her.
Ooh, Mag was thinking about going in there. He has to be careful though. Actually took a melt hit while having his Mask of Madness on. Rubik already forced back by a Tornado EMP, burning away most of his life. He sold Deafening Blast though. That's a really good spell to steal. And now Mag gets a lasso. But where is his team? What's he doing there for? I mean, the Rex get picked off. He has space created. That's great and all that, but he still dies. He buys back actually, and is on his way back here as well, as he did not have Boots of Travel just yet. In the meantime, Always Wanna Fly, gonna look for a stun. Probably will find it, knowing him at least. Well, he's not gonna look for it anyways. I mean, they got the Rex
yeah, they're
here,
too
so
mobile
time to go top. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just going straight for another axe. I mean, even when their Batrider basically goes in completely suicidally, the thing is that Empire are just so far ahead as far as what they've got this game. I mean, look at the Doom's net worth.
Is it sick? I mean, it's 18k gold. And I mean, he's got more than 10. He's got 12k, 11k higher than the highest on the side of Ahead Gaming, which is kind of sad. As Slark still manages to pick up the Bear Rider. In comes Centaur, stomps, gets hexed the moment he does so though. But the deafening blast from Rubik definitely helped. Still though, it is gonna be a Slark still brought down, Edict and
Oh, what a
Nova
stun.
coming through. Another stun coming through as well. Templar Assassin, can he get away with this? The Ghost Scepter keeping always want to fly up, and the Meteor to finish it off. Always want to fly still gets the kill. Double kill for him. First step forward for Resolution. Wants to try and take down the support. Will be able to do so. And it is Egnert that might have stolen a Cold Snap, but he's not going to get a chance to use it. Central Ward, that's still going to give a kill though. Nicely done for them. But in the meantime, Silence. What are all these heroes doing here? I'm here for buildings. Split Earth again hits. I was want to fly, taking a large beating here. He is gonna get picked up, I think, by this Templar Assassin, unless he gets some help, which is coming in. Resolution bought back, has got Boots of Travel, win this again, and that's a team wipe again. And I mean, they're just not leaving the base. They might die, but they always come back. Boots of Travels or not. In comes Centaur, stomps, double edge as well, but gets tornadoed straight away and might die before he can actually kill off the support Leshrac. Yeah, there he goes again.
Yeah, and I love how Empire, they just refuse to give up ground.
Yeah.
Even if they die inside the enemy base, they'll buy back Boots of Travel in and be like, no, this is our base now. And
Yeah.
Seema, he's trying to do his best
Holy
here.
crap!
Just crushed. That
Even
was a lot of
Diego
damage.
feeling sorry for that Slark, because that Slark just got, like, that is the definition of melting. Well, it's not, but it's like, you looked at his health bar and it's like, gone. It's just gone. He still got the kill, I think, on the, yeah, the Leshrac still died, but he had enough Bloodstone charges to instantly respawn, so with Boots of Travel, he's already back in this. The GG has been called. It is Empire that take their second victory here in the excellent Moscow Cup, were the first two games that Empire had today in the Cup, and there are gonna be 8 more, because every team plays 10 best of ones here in the round robin group stages of this cup. We're gonna see Ahead again though. They're gonna have a second chance. This time they're gonna face Relax, that suffered the same fate of as Ahead. They also lost to Empire just a moment ago, so maybe they can redeem themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, Empire probably the favourites for the tournament, even though MYM are right at the top there. They're really showing why in these games. They're just incessant. They just refuse to stop killing you. I mean, I gotta say, I love the way they just buy back
Yeah.
and just TP straight into the fights. Resolution's done it twice. He's bought back and just TP'd straight to the fight. And the thing is if they manage to get that early gold lead, and then they do fight like that, they incessantly force you to fight. Unless you've outdrafted them, unless you have way better mid-game team fight, which Ahead did not have this game, then you are going to lose those fights. Empire are just going to push from it because they're going to gain such a huge gold advantage, even though they're spending a lot by basically buying back, by forcing themselves into the enemy base, and they're targeting exactly the people who they're afraid of as well. In this game, they went, right, Templar Assassin is a problem. We don't have, a strict counter to her. We don't have a strict lockdown hero. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kill her a lot. We're not going to worry about the Slark because we know we have a Doom. We know we're out farming them. They focus down that Templar Assassin. She gets crushed in the mid lane. She gets 12 deaths this game. I mean, there's no disrespect to her. That's just Empire just focusing at every single time early. And from that point on, Ahead they're just not ready to fight. They didn't have the items to do it, and Empire just stormed them.
I wouldn't even, like, is it draft or is it outplayed? Because I feel like it's both, but I wouldn't necessarily call this, like, I think it's outpicked most of all.
Yeah, I think Empire right now, they just understand this patch better than most people, I think. I honestly think that. The hero picks that they go for, nobody else seems to draft like them, and they're crushing most people at this stage.
They are. Apart from Cloud9 and EG, who are the two teams that have beaten them in the last couple of months, the only two teams. But yeah, we're going to have another game. Ahead, we'll face Relax. Stick around, we'll be back. The break is probably going to be about 20 minutes, as the starting time of the game is set to be 15 minutes past 9 in CEST time. Yes, do take note, it is indeed summer time in Central Europe. So, you stick around, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, as I'm sure you will enjoy the game to come as well.